口寄せの術。
口寄せの術。
Hey everybody, Bam Collectibles here, back for another statue unboxing review for you. IM Studio, or Initial Memory, always does an awesome job with their box work. Look how cool this manga strip looks on the side. This is my second in the series of the Paths of Pain by IM Studio. First off, I did Nagato in his chair, and also in that video we had the Diva Path or Yahiko's body showcase as well. For this statue, we'll be taking a look at the base here. We can see the actual summoning markings that are on the ground. So if you remember correctly, there were two animal Paths of Pain bodies that actual Nagato used, and this is going to be the representation of the first one with kind of the longer ponytail when Jiraiya fought him. The odd part about this statue is it almost looks like this is some rubble or debris from when they attacked the Konoha Village, but you gotta think he died in the village hidden in the rain, so I'm not really sure, what is going on here, if that's what it is. Maybe it's just some village that they invaded and destroyed, but here's what looks to be like a broken door, or at least a piece of a door. They also sculpted this random looking wood piece here, which magnetizes. It actually kind of holds the door into place. Once you see, you'll put the door down first, and then this sits right above it. To add to all the destruction that's going on in this statue, they have some steel rebar that's kind of mounted along with some pieces of wood that's going to be scattered all throughout the base. While these are installing, be sure to leave a like on the video for the algorithm and let me know in the comment section what is your favorite Path of Pain. And here we have the main body for that first animal path that they used there. Now the actual robe for him, for some reason they always look like they're missing a few clouds. Maybe I'm wrong, it only has 3 there, but I guess you don't need too many, right? It's towards the back of the statue. You're not seeing it. And the inner lining of the cloak is a metallic red. Every single one has this metallic red paint, which is odd to me. Usually I would think of it being flat inside, but it does work. It looks good when you actually see everything put together. As you may have noticed, the arms and head, of course, are sculpted separately. And inside of that neckline there, you can also see those steel rods, or those chakra rods that he has inside of the body. Really good, close attention to detail by the studio. And here's the arm. This one has, similar context in there as well, as far as those steel rods go. That one's pretty basic, while this one has the hand facing in the downward position because he is summoning something in this moment. Question of the day: which Akatsuki member did paint the fingernail polish on these bodies? Let me know in the comment section below. Who do you think did it? If I didn't mention before, I'd say that this statue is in a perfect 1/8 scale here. We'll notice that large ponytail was sculpted separately. There's the notch it will attach to later. Inside is a magnet which will attach it to the actual neckline, and then the headband, the eyes, those chakra rods as well. They do a really great job at the face of the head sculpts for these statues, and the ponytail has a steel rod that just connects it there. It's kind of dynamically flowing in the air in an upwards motion. For those that might not know, the animal path is one of my favorite paths of pain. I've always been having an affinity for people that summon different beasts to do their bidding, probably because I grew up playing Final Fantasy games. Shout out to my friend, subscriber, and channel member, BeastBoy007. He had sent me quite a few of the Naruto CCG cards that he had that go along perfectly with some of the paths of pain here. So that is one of them. And we'll go ahead and crack open a pack on camera today. Just in case you aren't aware, I do have a P.O. box that you could send stuff into. I'll list that right above here. But many people have actually sent me, pieces of their card collection. Maybe they used to collect and don't have anything to do with it, so they sent me that. I've also had some awesome mail, some stickers, some letters. So anytime you want to send me something, eventually I'd love to, if I got enough of it, I'd love to showcase maybe a specific video of things that people sent into me. That'll be a fun segment. Let me know if that's something that you would like to see in the future. And our rare for the pack is Super Chakra Rasengan. And here is another card that was sent to me, which is actually going to go along perfect with our next statue base. How epic looking is this? Crazy that they sculpted inside of here 2 heads of the Chimera, or that dog that the animal path did summon on a regular basis. That was what a huge pain in the butt, right? Spinning this around, you will see the kind of the intent with this statue base is it's like the dog is being summoned directly from the ground. So we have a lot of dust particles that are just shooting and spreading everywhere, as well as the dog is kind of popping from outside of that dust. We did a quick 360, but we have to zoom in here and take a look at all the details. So on some of the fangs, we'll see some saliva dripping down, that wet, glossy looking tongue, and inside of the roof of the mouth is one of those giant chakra rod spikes. If I hold my finger here, you can barely see this spike kind of shooting through. That's crazy to see. The other dog's mouth's closed, so not as much detail, but cool to see the Rinnegan eye there, at least on both of them. I love the contrast of the purples with everything that's going on here. I just noticed that this beast does not have ears. Why does that bother me? They do not have any ears. I looked at a picture up and there's no ears. What we see here is like one of those red traditional archways. I think I looked it up. They're called paifangs, and there's all sorts of markings here. There's also markings on the statue as well. But what they went for is more of a splintered or broken wood. Obviously something's being broken here from the actual beast being summoned. This little notch with the rock that kind of hides that is going to have a purpose later. I can't wait to show you what that's for. They gave us awesome options with this statue. We can see all sorts of those splinters there. And again, those markings, if you can barely see them, they're on the back of the statue. I don't believe these actual archways are from a specific episode or a moment in the show. Please remind me if it actually was. What they do remind me of, though, is those archways that were summoned down that held down Kurama's tails, during those moments when they were trying to kind of just hold him down. As we install this, you will notice there's a piece of rope that's in the back. So that is actually one of a few that they sculpted on here. Here's a larger piece of that. What this looks like after we get it installed too, we'll see this large frayed piece on the end. It almost looks like these beasts or the dogs kind of came up and chomped it in half, or at least the one, probably with the mouth closed, ended up doing that. This is the notch that allows it to connect to the base as well. In order to install, you have to lift that gate piece, and then afterwards it slides right back there. With that piece of rope installed, we do have one more that they did include over on this other side, and for some reason they did sculpt, you can see kind of a copper ring on the end there next to the frayed piece, and what they did is they sculpted on a bell, and there's nothing inside of it to actually make it look like a bell, but here's what it is. There's a magnet on top of it that allows it to attach to there, but it looks exactly like a bell would look. I thought there'd be something inside maybe that you could jingle around, but nothing. As I mentioned before, when you have these two beasts here, the left one has its mouth shut, looking like it just clamped down on something. And if I swirl this around a little bit, you can tell, I think it did, chomp down on this piece of rope. Let me know if you think as well that's what it was, but that's how I interpret it at least. As expected, mounted on top is the second body for the animal Path of Pain. She has a single point of contact we can see here on the left foot where it connects itself to the base with a steel rod and a notch. Just like all the others, she does have 3 red clouds on the cloak, and the inside of it was metallic and red. The head sculpt for her was put on separately. I just, kept it on there. It just goes on with a simple magnet. We have that awesome looking jutsu hand sign going on there, and just like all the others, the head sculpt is absolutely perfect. Wasn't it cool? I remember we did have an episode that they released where we got to see, I think, her body before it became a body, right? It was actually just her actual ninja form before she had died. So that was kind of cool that they brought a little bit of life to the actual story behind the character that they see used here. I mentioned before that there's pieces of rubble that you can detach from these arches over here, and when you take them off, guess what can fit on top? That is right. If for some reason you wanted to display the first body, if you preferred that one over the other, you can mount him on top here. So cool little feature. Now, I guess unfortunately you can't mount the second body onto the first body's plain base. So that is kind of a sucky thing. But if you did want to put, either or on here, it's so cool that you have that option available. Again, thank you, Beast Boy 007, for sending me. Here is another card that'll go perfectly with this set. I know they're not super rich, but these are awesome looking foil cards that are going to go nicely. And for the set to assemble, right, we have Nagato in his chair, and then we have the second body for the animal path, the first body, and the main pain body, the Deva Path of Pain. Look forward to 2 coming up in the near future. None other than the Preda Barrier Path, and then we have the Asura Weapons Path. Others are still being produced, so we'll see those at a much later date. Hey everybody, if you enjoyed this video, again, be sure to hit the comment. If you haven't subscribed, do that as well. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you did enjoy yourself. I'll see you in the next video. And as always, everybody, do what you love and love what you do. Bam out.